Hey guys, it's Gummo. We've got another battle report for you. I'm helping a friend practice for a 2800 points tournament. I'm not going because of family birthday parties on that weekend. He's the Wood Elf player you see, a couple of my battle reports, actually quite a number of them. So he's quite tactical, knows his movement well, and is always a challenge. I've been playing my Orcs so much that I wanted to get my Empire out because I've just been gathering dust. So um, since I wasn't practicing for anything, I just threw together a 2800 point Empire, which was quite fun, and then yeah, went at it that way. The composition set up for this tournament is panel comp, so we have no idea in terms of whose list is harder. I guess mine's technically harder, I would think, but who knows? People don't like playing against Wood Elves, so it really depends on the subjective nature of it. So it's hard to say, really. I brought a Colfran's Empire night bus, pretty much. Mounted BSB, mounted level 4 life, Warrior Priest mounted. They got stuff on them, but it's not that important. Peg Captain just to roam around and do some stuff. Level 4 light who sits in the halberdiers, 15 inner circle knights, 10 archers, 10 huntsmen just for some shits and giggles. 5 demigryphs, a hurricane and steam tank. Never used the huntsman, but I thought, hey, if he's going to get scouts, I want some scouts. Not that I think it does too much with, he can just shoot me a lot easier than I can shoot him. Now, I don't know all of his list and don't want to give away all the stuff, but it's a level 4 beasts with, I think, the Moonstone, and a level 4 of Shadow with Acorn or something like that. Anyway, the one where you can jump around different forests. It's got a BSB in there, 3 Shadow Dancers, 3 lots of 10 True Flights, one's got the Flaming Banner, another set of Glagar with Hagbane, 22 War Dancers, and 10 Way Watchers, and 2 lots of 6 Wild Riders. And so magic, I roll up 4 dice on light and don't get a double, roll up 4 on life, don't get a double. So I was like, great luck, paying off already. Anyway, so what do I end up with light? I got Far's Speed, Net, and Shem's Burning Gaze, so no banishment. Actually, I didn't get Shem's Burning Gaze there. I think it was Light of Battle there, so I had to switch. So at least I've got 1 magic missile. And then on the life, I really would have loved to get regrowth, obviously, for the stamina. That's why I brought life, because the steam tank and my night bus. But rolling no doubles. I think I switched something out to get Earthblood. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't the magic missile one, which would have been good too, because we have like 4 forests or something on the board, and he's got Moonstone, so it would have been good to be able to get that off. Would have done some damage. But I do get Dwellers, and you can't complain. He gets Occam's Withering, Miasma, and Pit for Shadow, and Curse, Transformation of Kadon, Wild Form, and Amber Spear. So good selection of dangerous spells there. And we rolled up Battle Line again. This is, I think, the second time we've played Battle Line and at his place like this. So, don't know. I don't think there was any special scenario things to look out for. It's pretty much straight Battle Line. Just going through deployment. So my left flank, I've got the Demis and the Hurricane behind them. That forest ends up being a Blood Forest, and then I've got my Night Bus. It's going to be a bit hard, but that black unpainted figure is actually, I'm using him as a life wizard. And Carl Franz is on the other side in the second rank there. You can see him. It's actually not the Carl Franz figure. I haven't painted that one. And then I've got the full command in the front with the Warrior Priest and the BSB to the right. So the wizards, if he blows up, it's not going to take out characters. You can see my halberds there with my light wizard in the front rank of them. And then moving over to my right flank, I've got the 10 archers, the stank, and my peg captain. I have my peg captain facing that forest just in case he sort of came on there, but hindsight, probably you can see where he has put some Way Watchers. Hindsight should have thought, hey, look, Way Watchers are going to go after the knights, considering their toughness 3, no armor save. Should have had him facing that way. Now over on his one, so let's just go through his list. I won't get everything right, but okay, the ones in the front left there are the Hagbanes, and then you can see my Huntsman coming out the back there. And then he's got a true flight. He's got Wild Riders facing one way. I mean, this is before Vanguard. And then he's got some Wild Riders in the front, and then he's got his another set of true flights. I think that wizard is the Beast wizard. I might be wrong. I think we're playing as the Beast one. And then the War Dancers are in the back there. And in there is all three. Actually, maybe it's not all three, but he's got some of the Shadow Dancers and his Shadow Mage. And then the front set of true flights here are the ones with the flaming banner, I think. Now, I might be wrong, actually. They may not have a flaming banner. The blue, the one with the Glowguard unit with the Beast Wizard as the BSB and the flaming banner, I think. Arrow of Kurnos goes off, hits Friends, wounds him. I farm my ward. So he's down to 2 wounds. So I think that was the first successful Arrow of Kurnos my mates ever had. And I roll up turn 1, so I just go forward. I don't think and this is a mistake really. I should have just, look, I had all this, I should have just gone straight down his throat. But seeing the Wild Riders there, I thought wasn't too confident. But in hindsight, stupid. I should just push as hard as I could. So they move up a bit, but it's not full movement. At least I don't recall it is. I think I'm sitting out just outside of charge range of his Wild Riders. The habit is, it's the only thing I've got really magic missile-wise, so they just spin round, so the mage can probably get a Shems off on those wave watches. And I move my Peg hero over to try and keep some type of charge option open. You'll notice though and the archers go in the building. The 2 forests sitting up there are empty, and I totally forget about the whole moon. Even when he starts moon walking around, whatever it is, I still forget to consider it in my moves. And the steam tank moves up. I'll go for 4 steam points. I probably went for 5 actually, to try and get close enough to shoot the Wild Riders who are sort of threatening my huntsman, and I'll get a flank shot on them. But I think I only rode like 6 or 8 or something for the move of 3d6, so it doesn't go too far. And that's just that. So magic's 3 to 3. So I just throw 3 dice at Shems. It's really the only thing worth doing to see if I can blow up some of those way watches, cause a panic. It wouldn't be the first time. And he throws 3 dice and dispels it as well. So nothing happens really on my first turn. Shooting wise, I put. So yeah, because my steam tank didn't move that far, I only was able to hit 3 of these Wild Riders down the bottom here. You can see near my huntsman, and I rolled a 1 to wound one of them, so only 2 die, which would have been nice to put a cannon straight through them all, but I couldn't. And then my archers unload on these Wild Riders at the front here and actually do 1 wound, which is more than I could expect. And I think that's just a nice scenic picture. So Wood Elf turn 1, the Way Watchers reform to look at my Peg Captain and shoot him full of no armor save hits. And you can see the Shadow Mage. Yeah, see, I can't remember which one it is. I'm pretty sure it might be the Shadow Mage joined the Wild Riders and moonstoned over here into this forest. And this one I start. Well, actually, no, I don't even start thinking about defending forests at this point, which is a bit silly. Wild Riders at the top of the picture there, they go into those huntsmen, so they're going to be dead. And he just moves. I think he pretty much just really moves back to tries to keep away from my charges. It's reforming a few things. The Way Watchers have gone. Well, War Dancers have gone into a longer formation. These Glade Guard have sort of gone out into full 10 wide, but not a heap of movement. Magic's 4 to 3, and he gets an amber spear off and puts 3 wounds on my stank. So that hurts. And I end up scrolling Curse of Anra here on my night bus, just not wanting to take that much damage. But in hindsight, I could have just moved up 7 next turn, taken that one, and then gone in worried about it the turn after. But that's what you get. And then he unloads all his Glade Guard on my his True Flights onto my archers just to get some points, which he does. Takes them out. And of course, my huntsman died of the Wild Riders. I don't know how this happened, but I've only got one wound on my peg captain, so he either rolled terrible to hit or to wound. I'm not sure because he has no ward save. So my turn too. I think the demis try to charge these guys up on the hill, and my night bus just moves its full movement distance forward. The demis fail the charge. They needed a pretty long one. They do all have movement banners and stuff on, but they were pretty far away. I think it still needed a 10 or 11 or 12 or something, and they ended up failing, which isn't ideal, but expected. And the stank looks like it's got an extra wound from some shots, probably the poison hagbanes, but it moves forward. Doesn't misfire, so it's able to take another shot at some wild riders. And you can see my peg captain at the top here has jumped on the other side, getting out of range. Well, pretty much not out of range of the way watchers, but adding a forest in for more modifiers, and just to threaten the flank of these guys, make a move. Also throw fars off in the magic phase. I think it was a 9-4. And just again, I think now making the way watchers have to hit him on about a 5 or something. I get thrown up, and that's about it. And he stops. I think he stopped. I think I had 6 dice left, and I threw 3 at regen and 3 at the toughness buff. Just trying to be too greedy, and he was able to dispel both, which not ideal. My cannon on the steam tank goes at those. He can actually get a flank shot straight through those 3 wild riders. And I managed 1 wound. It's just frustrating. He doesn't have great targets for cannons that he is, but flank shots on wild riders, I'll take that. But 2 cannonballs and all I've done is 3 wounds, which is a bit frustrating. And he dances around a little bit more here. He throws all his characters and stuff into that big war dancer bus, whatever you want to call it. And then just moves these guys around a little bit. His wild riders have moved away from my peg captain and getting ready for a charge, and the way watchers move up to shoot the back of my night bus. So that's all them there, and I think it's this turn, is it? When they moonwalk away? Who knows? He gets curse off this time. I can't remember if I tried to stop it. And gets Wizzens up on his huge bus of people. And then his hagbanes open up and he gets more poison shots on this thing, so he's down to 2 wounds now. And my turn 3, I managed to roll up the misfire on the steam tank where it lets it gain D3, lose D3, and I only lose 1, so it's down to, I think, 1 wound. Or, hang on, no I didn't. I misfired and probably just couldn't shoot at steam gun or something like that. Anyway, I was able to move up and try to take a pot shot at his mage is pretty much what I'm going to go for there. And we move up onto the hill because I think, okay, so where he moved to, that hill, even though we don't, it's true line of sight, the hill's quite large and I couldn't see his archers. So, and because my knights have curse on, I just moved normally. So this is where I just totally misplayed curse turn 1. The demis, because they were behind the hill before they started that move, they couldn't see anything, so they couldn't charge. So he's, it's not, the plan was to ram him down his throat, but they're not really doing it. The Hurricane moves up as well as fast as it can, just spins around to protect the flank there if it needs to get a charge off or something. Or if I magically rolled enough on the magic phase to actually use its spell. And I don't know what that's showing. And then so magic was 6-5, and I just threw 6 dice at Dwellers to try and hit his big bunker of people and all the characters, and that's what I rolled for my 6 dice Dwellers. So it didn't even go off. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong magic phase. It's 7-7 here. Sorry, guys. Trying to work out why I've got this much stuff on me then if I only had a 7-7 magic phase. Pretty sure that was a Dweller's roll. Maybe that was from turn 2, sorry. I might have screwed my turns around here. So turn 3 magic I actually get, I've got thrown up already, I get Flesh of Stone and Fires Protection up on these guys. I think that's what it was, I think those dice rolls for turn 2. It was a 9 to 4 magic phase, so I probably threw Dwellers. And I get a cannonball shot through on his mage and hit him or her and rolled up 1 wound. So she's actually not fallen over, it's just she falls over because she can't stand on the forest. So she ducked my cannonball and just took it a little bit off. So that was frustrating. She has no ward, so I could have taken his level 4, but it wasn't to be. His turn 3, the Wild Rider's going to take out some of these halberdiers in the forest, so that halberdiers on the ground there are just my, yeah, they're not really there. And you can see his big bus is moonstoned over to that forest. So I could have easily pulled my halberdiers out this turn and dumped them in that forest to try and block some, just to, because they're a pretty long bus. They'd go, 8 inches out into that forest. You wouldn't be able to fit them in, but just totally didn't think of it. So he's able to moonstone his characters and everything out of there. And this is when I'm like, start thinking, well, what am I doing? I've got to block these forests. And his way watchers charge my Celestial Hurricaneum. There's no worry about fleeing, so I flee and bump through the Demigriffs and get away. You can see there's just 1 unit of Glade Guard stopping me getting into that forest. And yeah, last turn, because I got one of the, I think it was thrown again, I got a wound back on my steam tank there, so it is up to 3. So yeah, he's what's it called? Moonwalked, whatever it is over there. So he gets Occam's up on these guys. It's still pretty scary. There's 10 of them with strength, whatever it is, 8 or 9 or whatever they're going to be. They're going to do some damage. And they're ASF. Looks like he's put another wound back, so now I'm down to 2 wounds. And then down to 1 wound. Probably the Hagbane, so that stanker's about to go. Combat here, he takes out 9 guys, and I took out 1 guy, so it's not too bad. I can stay in there a bit longer. And in my turn 4, so I go in for the charge on these. I've got to get some points. I've got nothing at the moment. So we go in with the demis and the night bus. The Celestial Hurricaneum's rallied. And it's at this time too, in this magic phase coming up, that I realised I hadn't been adding 1 for my power dice because of the Hurricaneum. That's what happens when you don't play an army for a while. It's just forgetting all the rules. And I managed to roll. I think this is where I actually misfire and just can't shoot the steam gun or whatever. So I go in with 2 dice, 2d6, and ram into these guys. So it's not too bad. And my peg guy makes a 10-inch charge onto his Wild Riders. So hopefully we, can start taking some of these guys out. And yeah, this is the plan. You go in, even though he's Mind Razor, I thought let's get Speed of Light up. So I think I threw a few other spells just to got his Death Spell dice out, and then threw Speed of Light on these guys. Just it's going to stop his rerolls. It's going to make him 5s to hit, or at least 4s to hit with no rerolls. So it's going to massively limit the damage that he can do. Stank manages about 2 or 3 guys dead. And I get a wound, he gets a wound, he's got a banner. I got a charge, he's got a muso, so actually he won and I passed my break test. That was annoying. But yeah, those 10 archers. So he looks like he's taken out 2 knights and that was it. And then he died. Which is expected, but there's all my points there and he's just used 100 and something points to stop me. And took his army away with the Moonstone, so not playing this one very well. His turn 4, I don't think there was really much movement, just shuffling around, and then he gets Withering up on these guys and then peppers them with some shots and takes 2 of them out. And at this point, I'm on turn, so I've got 2 turns left. I'm just thinking of trying to get into, and just the way I could reform, which is a bit annoying. I reformed my Night Bus to face his other closest unit of Glade Guard, but I shouldn't have. Should have just left my Hurricaneum to fight that battle, and then I could have just moved straight out, tried to get some Dwellers off. Now I'm out of arc for Dwellers, which is frustrating. But at this point, what I'm thinking of doing was sending the demis to deal with the big unit of what's called Way Watch or War Dancers and stuff. Just see, sorry, the Wild Riders are up there because they've charged my steam tank. And yeah, just get my Night Bus around to take out his other Glade Guard with Dwellers and charging, and that's about the only thing I'm going to be able to get, I think, at this stage. And grind the combats, so it's a bit frustrating. But yeah, I shouldn't have reformed that way. But I get this charge off, which is good. So you can see my steam tank's dead from the last charge of the Wild Riders. But they'll be dead with these, even though I am toughness 2. And so yeah, I send the so what is it? I charge one unit of Glade Guard he runs, and then I charge the other redirect to another one, and actually no, I don't redirect, so I just fail. But I move enough away so I can charge the Hurricaneum into these guys. It takes a wound on stand and shoot, but that's about it. But at least I'm pointing the right way for some Dwellers, even though I need to throw a boosted one. So instead of taking a wound, I've taken a few off with impact hits. And finally, we get the points for these 3 Wild Riders. So 2 cannon shots and steam engineer on the steam tank and 3 demis to do it, which is a bit frustrating. But finally, my peg captain comes through and takes out the other one, so I'm finally getting some points in turn 5. And his turn 5, though, he's getting Wizened up on these guys, so, and then charges into combat as well, because I didn't overrun, I held back. And then the IF's Occams. Doesn't do much damage, I don't think, to himself. I think it was a strength 10 hit or something, but just took a few Elves out. And yeah, he's in combat, so they're going to be dead. We got Wizens and Occams up. I've got Speed of Light up, but that's it. Now, I can't remember what happened here, but all I know is I fled out of the building, and I'm trying to remember when I was doing this battle report why I fled out of the building. It was a test I took, and I just can't remember what it was. So, oh, now I know what it is. Yeah, sorry. The Way Watchers took out my peg captain. That caused my halberds to flee out of the building. That's right. Yeah, my demis are no more. It's just really just pillow fighting over here between these Hurricaneum and the Elves, but I am taking them out. They can't get through my toughness 5, and I'm slowly taking 1 or 2 Elves out a turn. So my turn 6, I rally these guys. The only thing I can really do is maybe shoot a Shems or something like that. But I need to stop this flank charge coming over here because I want to move my Knights up close enough to get Dwellers off. So I have to sacrifice my Warrior Priest, so he comes up in a way that at least they have to charge him, and the overrun's going to be as far as I can make it. And I move my guys as far forward as I can in range for Dwellers. So that left unit of archers too, I can't remember what happened, but they did flee at one point and rallied, and they fleed like an inch from the board edge, so they almost went, but they didn't, which was a shame. So I almost got them, but not enough. And the Hurricaneum and the Glade Riders at the bottom are still just knocking around each other. And I get a Dwellers off, and there's 1 Glade Guard guy left. And he passed his strength test on his Shadow Mage. Or Beast Mage, sorry. So I think what happened, actually, that's right, the Wizards got confused at one point, but there was no cheating as such, like he played it right the whole time. But I think at this point that isn't the Beast Mage. Yeah, it's not, it's actually the Shadow Mage. But originally we thought it was going to be the Beast Mage, but yeah, he played it right all game, but that's fine. I knew it was his Shadow Mage, that's right. And then what happens in his turn 6, so you can see I've got Speed of Light off here. These guys don't do a whole lot here. And then into his turn 6, so obviously charges his big bus unit at my Warrior Priest. He's going to be dead. And he charges his Shadow Mage into my bus. And then he throws my Asthma. And this is where I'm just like, why, in hindsight, I mean, why did I let this go? So I let it go through because I thought, oh, he's going to miasma and he's going to, pit it. But he can't pit it because he's in combat. So of course, what he's going to do is swap out. So he swaps it out with his beast mage, and then chucks all his dice at transformation of Kadon and gets it off. And I roll to try to stop it, but don't get enough, even though I had 7 dice, I think, at the time. Oh no, it was 6 to 5. So he must have thrown 1 dice at miasma and got it. And I had ample opportunity to dispel that one, but I let it through, thinking that I'd try and stop pit. I think that's what it was, even though he can't pit. So I had 5. So it was 5 against 5, and he just rolled really good, and I rolled really probably just normal, and he gets this huge mountain chimera off, which is great because you don't get to see it much. So he had to go out the shed to get it. You can see it's not painted, but it's an awesome figure. So good way to end the game. And now, yeah, this thing's going to tear me a new one. Interestingly, I said, so what is he? Is he like, can I challenge him out, or what's the go? And I think without referencing too many books, we thought, okay, he definitely keeps his ASF and all those sort of elven traits, but he's actually a monster, so you can't challenge him out. Not that in hindsight I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't challenge him out anyway, but because he's probably gives me the best chance though. But yeah, he just goes against the unit here, and yeah, see what happens. Anyways, obviously this guy dies. And overruns and doesn't roll high enough to hit the other combat, luckily. So I guess that last-ditch effort saved that. Now, I can't recall. I think I might destroy this unit. But maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't even get points for that one. It's a bit of a shame. This happens. He rolls 4d6 plus 1 attacks, and he rolls shocking. I think he rolled like 8 or 9 attacks. And whatever happened, he wiped out, how many knights are gone there, but he just elected to attack the unit, and even the 2d6 strength 4 breath weapon at the unit. And that's what I had left. And so my characters attacked, did a couple of wounds, maybe 1 or 2, I can't remember. And then Carl Franz attacked, and I ended up with 4 wounds, or 3 wounds through 3 hits out of the 4. And then rolled up the D3 hits, wounds, and punked him out of there. So it was, yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then that was pretty much the end of the game. And then it wasn't until after the game that I was driving home that we realised, we played it wrong. So yes, he could challenge, or we could have challenged, or whatever. And I think it would have made a big difference. I mean, firstly, he shouldn't have rolled that bad anyway. That unit should have got annihilated. And he would have got points for that. But I guess then Carl Franz could have attacked back, and the same thing would have happened. I think in hindsight, us both knowing that, I think he would probably issue a challenge, maybe. He wants to take Carl Franz out, but I think a challenge would have gone down. I think because really you would not think he was going to roll that bad. So I think the best bet for me to actually hang around in that fight would have been I would have had to dish out my level 4 to him as a challenge. He would have got annihilated, but at least he would get the charge, 3 wounds for the wizard, and then 5 overkill max, so that's 8. At the time I had a rank and BSB standard, stuff like that. So I think it would have been something like a leadership 6 break test with hold the line because of my BSB and Carl Franz in there or whatever. So I think it would have, it's not guaranteed at all that I'd make that, but it's at least doable and not getting annihilated. But in the end, the way we played it is I actually beat his Mountain Chimera. I still lost the game. It was down a couple of 100-point difference in terms of victory points and stuff. So I guess in a tournament, we probably would have marked it off the way it happened. But interestingly, knowing that it could challenge, it would have been interesting to see how we would have played that. But hey, it was a casual game. It was fun to see the Mountain Chimera come on. And, I know Cal Franz can beat one, which is great. But yeah, whether or not he would have had the chance, I probably wouldn't have. But anyway, I hope you liked it. Always a tough matchup playing Elves, especially moonstoning ones. And then playing with a list that I, haven't really played much. Haven't played Empire for a while, so it was fun. But it's, yeah, need to keep working and get better. Anyway, leave some comments and catch you on the next one. See ya.